Rory McIlroy's next challenge, toppling Scottie Scheffler. But here's where it gets controversial. Rory McIlroy's quest to become the greatest golfer of all time has taken a new turn. After claiming his career Grand Slam, including the Masters, Players' Championship, and Pebble Beach title, McIlroy now faces a daunting challenge, toppling Scottie Scheffler, the latest Open champion, to claim the claret jug. This isn't just a battle for the trophy, it's a test of will, strategy, and the limits of human potential. The Northern Irishman, ranked second globally, finds himself trailing Scheffler by 8.96 points after the Open at Royal Portrush, where the American claimed his 17th victory. Scheffler's dominance at the tournament, combined with his stellar performance in the final round, has propelled him to a 20.52 points average in the standings, while McIlroy's 19.56 points average places him 36th. The gap between second place and 36th is a staggering 10.4 points, a chasm that even the most seasoned players find difficult to bridge. McIlroy, who once dominated the game with a 12-year run of consecutive majors, now faces a different kind of challenge. His recent victory at Augusta, which earned him the career Grand Slam, had become his ultimate goal. But the Open in his home country, Northern Ireland, proved to be the catalyst he needed to refocus. The green jacket on his back, the memory of his epic 2015 triumph, and the thrill of competing in a tournament that has defined golf history all came together. Scheffler's success is a testament to his relentless drive and tactical brilliance. The tall American, who won his first major at 22, surged to 4 majors in just 2 years, winning the US Open and PGA Tour titles with ease. His recent win at Quail Hollow in May was a convincing display of skill, and his return to form in 2022 further cemented his status as a world-class player. Yet, McIlroy remains the most likely candidate to challenge the world number one supremacy, despite the growing shadow of Scheffler. The debate over whether McIlroy can replicate his 2011 to 2014 dominance is central to this story. While Scheffler's rise has been meteoric, McIlroy's legacy is built on consistency and longevity. The question is, can he sustain the same level of performance in the coming years? The answer hinges on his ability to navigate the pressures of the Open, the expectations of fans, and the psychological toll of competing against a player who has already etched his name into golf history. As the world rankings reflect, Scheffler's current form is a direct result of his aggressive approach and strategic mindset. He has consistently outperformed his rivals, even when the stakes are high. For McIlroy, the challenge is not just about beating Scheffler, but about proving that he can compete with the best of the era. The Open 2025 may be the final showdown, but it's also a test of what it means to be the best in the world. Will McIlroy push through the pressure? Will he emerge as the next great champion, or will the weight of Scheffler's legacy prove too heavy to bear? The answer lies in the golf course, the players, and the spirit of competition itself. As McIlroy said, all you can do is admire what he does and how he does it. But how he does it, whether through flair, precision, or sheer determination, is what sets him apart. The question is, can he match the magic of the man he's chasing? Rory McIlroy, the people's champion at Royal Portrush. Pure emotion. That's the best way to sum up what happened at Royal Portrush during the 2025 British Open, an event that, on paper, was dominated by Scottie Scheffler, but in spirit, belonged entirely to Rory McIlroy. If you think the final leaderboard tells the full story, think again. What unfolded in Northern Ireland was far more complex, magical, and, some might argue, controversial. Is it possible for a player who didn't even come close to winning to become the soul of the tournament? Let's dive in. You'll want to stick around for what happened next, because this is the part most golf fans overlook. The grandstands swelled with anticipation all week. At the 4th hole, a father's pleading voice broke through the dense crowd, asking for a sliver of space so his son could see golf's hometown hero. Usually, Crowds stubbornly cling to their precious vantage points, but something about this father's earnestness broke through the self-interest. Bodies parted, a volunteer stepped in, and suddenly a wide-eyed boy found himself, just paces from the fairway, heart pounding as McIlroy readied his shot. Before the boy knew it, Rory was striding away, but the boy's shout, "Love you, Roreee," triggered a spontaneous explosion of cheers. Echoes of affection rumbled across the course like a summer storm. Yet in that same moment, McIlroy's dreams of winning another Open were dashed by a misfired approach shot. He needed something miraculous to claw back into contention, but the magic never materialized. The claret jug slipped away, at least for this year. But maybe, just maybe, this was never about the trophy. Reflecting on the week, McIlroy shared, "I tried as best as I could to keep my emotions in check, especially walking up the last there and that reception. It's been an awesome week. I've gotten everything I wanted out of this week apart from a claret jug. And that's just because one person was just a little bit better than the rest of us." But here's where the narrative takes an unexpected twist. Scottie Scheffler, masterful, composed, and utterly dominant, was the deserving Open champion. His display of control and precision finally added the elusive Lynx trophy to his nearly complete collection of golf's greatest prizes. 4 nearly flawless rounds led many to wonder, are we witnessing merely a generational star, or someone who could soon be spoken of among the greatest in history? But even as Scheffler basked in victory, it felt like the week revolved around the man who finished 7 strokes behind him. It sounds almost absurd until you experience what unfolded at Portrush. Rory's magnetism has always drawn fans to him, but this year, their devotion was on another level entirely. Crowds 10 people deep jockeyed for even a glimpse of him, spilling over dunes and fescue. In VIP tents, guests pressed against windows just to watch for a fleeting second. Parents lifted kids onto shoulders. Stands overflowed an hour before Rory even arrived, emptying the second he vanished to another corner of the course. The passion tipped into the surreal. At one point, a teenager, sporting a bleached buzz cut with the Open mowed into the back of his head, dipped under the ropes for a selfie. Security intervened, but not before another moment was born. Cameras caught a man braving the ice-cold sea, waving an Open flag, and "Go Rory" sign with feverish pride. But the noise, that's what separated this week from every other. Where golf crowds usually gift restrained applause and hushed murmurs, Portrush was more like a stadium or music festival. Chants, roars, and songs cycled non-stop, turning the Open into a 4-day celebration that was, at times, almost unrelated to the act of golf itself. Saturday's round was the crescendo of it all. McIlroy, needing a miracle, birded 3 of his opening 4 holes, electrifying an audience already at a fever pitch. When his eagle putt rolled across the green for 56 agonizing feet and dropped in, the eruption of emotion was seismic. McIlroy later said it was the loudest round he'd ever played. Keep in mind, this is the same man who slipped on the green jacket at Augusta just months prior. And this is a part people often forget. Winning the Masters was supposed to liberate Rory, freeing him from the ghosts of expectation and self-doubt. Yet, as he's confessed, finally capturing that missing piece left him strangely unmoored, just like Olympic champions who spend years chasing a single moment, only to be left adrift once they achieve it. Public scrutiny intensified. The pressure became suffocating. Even when he faltered publicly, those close to the game recognized the grace that's defined Rory's journey, making his moments of frustration, like at Quail Hollow or Oakmorn, seem not just understandable, but possibly inevitable. But here's the real controversy. Despite not winning, despite months of setbacks and debate, Rory remains the sport's most beloved figure. Fans love winners, but they adore Rory for his honesty, vulnerability, and willingness to show his real self, warts and all, in a sport where most players hide behind crafted personas. And recently, Rory hasn't always shown his best form. Yet the fans didn't see recent blow-ups or self-doubt as evidence of a lack of character, but as signs of exhaustion, the true mental cost of living under a microscope for so long. This Open at Portrush was different. Unlike the heartbreak of 2019, the vindication of Augusta, the raw pain of Pinehurst, or the existential battles at St Andrews, this week was about acceptance and appreciation. The crowds weren't asking anything from him, they simply wanted Rory to know that he was still their champion. No miracles required. That's the comfort of home, isn't it? It welcomes you as you are, not because you deliver perfection, but because you belong. And in that embrace, McIlroy found peace. He'd regretted shutting out the crowd back in 2019, so this time, he resolved to let the love in, even if it came with discomfort. He acknowledged almost every cheer, waved, and nodded in thanks, understanding that he wasn't just providing joy to others, but finally accepting some in return himself. I feel so thankful and just so lucky that I get to do this. I get to do this in front of this crowd, he reflected. It's just been incredible to come back here, and to play, and at least feel like I had a chance today going out there. Meanwhile, Scottie Scheffler's now famous reflections about purpose and faith stirred conversation in golf circles. He's often said that on-course greatness is trivial compared to eternal rewards, an outlook that might seem foreign to some, but offers an important counterbalance. You can reach the top. Rory McIlroy's epic British Open, a victory lap to remember. Rory McIlroy's British Open might have been the greatest victory lap of his career, despite not securing the claret jug. In Portrush, Northern Ireland, the 153rd edition of the British Open ended with McIlroy claiming a hard-earned win, even if the trophy remained in the hands of another player. This moment highlights an interesting truth about major championships. Sometimes, the real triumph lies not in the trophy itself, but in the way the event is shaped by multiple winners. Take Scottie Scheffler, for instance. His domination at the course left no doubt about his status as a future champion, securing his fourth major title, and cementing his place in golf history. You might remember Tiger Woods' era, when he would close out tournaments with ruthless precision long before the final bell rang. Scheffler's performance echoes that legacy, but with a twist. This time, the spotlight wasn't on Woods, but on a new generation of stars. Now, let's break this down. A major championship like the British Open is more than just a race to the finish line. It's a test of endurance, strategy, and mental fortitude. Scheffler's win wasn't just about birdies. It was about consistency, adaptability, and the ability to thrive under pressure. But here's where it gets controversial. While Scheffler's victory was a clear-cut win, McIlroy's result raised questions about the value of a second-place finish in a sport where the trophy is often seen as the ultimate prize. And this is the part most people miss. When a player wins a major without the claret jug, it's not a loss, but a testament to their resilience. Think about it. In a sport where titles are fleeting, McIlroy's performance proved that even without the trophy, a champion can still leave a lasting impression. So, what do you think? Is the claret jug the only measure of greatness in golf? Or does a player's overall impact on the game matter just as much? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.